everybody. Well, I've got a very special book to read today. Look at this book. It is called, the title of the book is called William Shakespeare. Here's a picture of him, and it's by the Reception Homeschoolers. How exciting is this? So even though we're not in school, we have managed to write a book about William Shakespeare. Now children, is this an information book or is it a storybook? It's an information book, isn't it? It's a non-fiction book. It's a book that contains information about William Shakespeare. Now, he was a famous author. He wrote plays, he wrote poetry. So he wrote fiction. His stories were fiction, but this book is an information book. So let's have a little look and see what the Reception Homeschoolers found out about William Shakespeare. Here's a picture of him. William Shakespeare was born in 1564. People do not know the exact date he was born on. Mila told me that. But he was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in England. Brogan and Jaden told me that. His mum and dad were called Mary and John. Emily told me that fact. And he died on the 23rd of April, 1616. Thank you, Yanis, for telling me that. Now, this is interesting because he was a very, very famous author. His writing was amazing, but Mila's told me that his mum and dad could not read or write. If you can't read and write, children, it's called you're illiterate. We're not illiterate because we do our phonics. Right, he had 7 siblings. Jimmy told me that. 3 brothers and 4 sisters. And Jaden told me he was an actor. So as well as being a playwright, somebody who writes plays, and a poet, somebody who writes poetry, he was also an actor. Now, Jaden's also told me that he moved to London when he was a young man. Okay, apparently he had 3 children. Thank you, Alfie, for sharing that. And Jaden tells me that he wrote Romeo and Juliet. That's a play. That play ends in a bit of a sad ending. It's a tragedy, and that's one of his most famous plays. Okay, Taisha sent in some facts. This was a great one. He introduced 3,000 words to the English dictionary. So his vocabulary must have been massive with 3,000 extra words that went into the dictionary. And his children, so we knew he had 3 children, were called Judith Quinny, Susan Hall and Hamnet Shakespeare. Now, Judith and Hamnet were twins, born in 1589, and they got baptised in 1589 as well. And he had 2 daughters and 1 son. And I think this is a picture that Taisha sent in of his 2 daughters and his 1 son. And there's more facts, children, in our non-fiction book. Oh, Nathaniel, this was a great one, thank you so much. William Shakespeare's birthday, we know that in 1564. Nathaniel worked out this was over 400 years ago, so it's a long, long time ago, children. And he wrote, now we write with pencils and pens, but he wrote with a feather pen. I think a feather pen is called a quill. I've asked Nathaniel to check that for me. So they used to get a long, long feather and they used to dip the end of the feather into ink, and that's how they used to use to write. They didn't have pens like us. Now, Madison told me a great fact that I didn't know. William Shakespeare's granddaughter lived in Abington. Now, I'm going to look up if that's the Abington in Northamptonshire, because that's where I live. Now, Gabrielle, this is excellent writing. The father of William Shakespeare was an English businessman, and he was a glover. What do you think a glover makes, children? A glover makes gloves, you're right. And he sold them out of his window of his house. And I think this is our last fact. When William Shakespeare was little, he used to like to go and play on his grandma's farm, and Leon wrote me that fact. Now, children, did you see, as I was going through, there's some blank pages, And the blank pages are for some pictures of William Shakespeare, because we're going to ask you to do some pictures to illustrate our book as well. And if there's any more facts that you find out, I've still got plenty of room to stick them in. I prefer it if you write it and I can stick it in, because it looks even better that way. So well done, homeschoolers. I think we should be very proud of our book, but it's not finished yet. We'll keep going. We're going to do some more facts and we're going to do some pictures to put in it. Okay, well done everybody.